right, folks, the last sneak peek is in, and it's a doozy. The Invincible Iron Man has arrived in Marvel Future Fight. Join the battle and witness the ultimate clash of armored superheroes. He just went invisible, by the way. That was not your imagination, but hang on. I'm going to save that for later. Let's go check out what the sneak peek says. The armor that has been developed to fight against Hulk has now been enhanced to fight against Thor as well. The last resort. Again, this is a little bit confusing because it seems like these teasers were worded for one character and now a second character has been added. Check out the new abilities and look of this hero who uses the power of Asgardian Crystal to fight against Thor. We will announce more information through the update details later. Okay, so I don't know what an Asgardian Crystal is. I know about Uru, which is an Asgardian metal. And I know that this is the Mysterium armor, which is also not from Asgard, I think. It's from the White Hot place or the White Hot room or whatever. It's a little bit confusing, but I know who the armor is that has been developed to fight against the Hulk. That's Hulkbuster. It's literally in the name. Has now been enhanced to fight against Thor as well. Okay, I think I know what they're trying to say here. Again, I think this was supposed to be just a Tony sneak peek. Or perhaps just a Hulkbuster sneak peek, and then they added the other character in. Because if you go and look at the description, it just says, check out the new abilities and look of this hero who uses the power of Asgard Crystal to fight against Thor. By the way, if it's new abilities, that means Hulkbuster is getting a tier 4. Because Iron Man already has a tier 4, and we already know that War Machine's getting a tier 4, but he's not in the sneak peek. So we're getting double tier 4 here. We're getting we're getting Hulkbuster and War Machine, or War Machine and Hulkbuster, which would be pretty crazy. It might be cooking up a PvP team, because Hulkbuster, of course, made to fight Hulk, made to fight Thor. That's a PvP vibe. Let's take a look at the sneak peek here. It's very cool. It is what we expected, which it means it's a higher quality sneak peek than just a a PowerPoint presentation with a cutaway to different anime wipe to different screenshots. He goes invisible. Then the big boy lands. Look at that beast. That looks sick. I gotta say that the modeling team cooked. Okay. Very cool sneak peek from the music. The atmosphere feels very nice. I like him going invisible. I think that's really cool. Again, it could hint towards Iron Man maybe coming back as a PvP threat. We know invisibility has a lot to do with PvP in this game. However, I have to say, this still isn't up to par with the quality of sneak peeks that we've gotten used to when it's coming to the big boys. You know, what happened to the 2-minute sneak peek movie for Jean Grey? What happened to the 1.5 minute Dark Knight homage with Sin and Ghost Rider? You know, yeah, man, it feels like even the sneak peek for Madeline and the sort of that sort of Dawn of X, whatever it was, group sneak peek, that was pretty cool. Zooming in on Krakoa and stuff. I feel like the sneak peeks lately have just not been hitting, bro. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm being a hater. I don't want to be a hater, of course. I mean, maybe I'm being like overly critical. That's what I mean by being a hater. I would never be a hater to the sneak peek team. Maybe I'm being like too critical. I don't know. But I have seen some people say that. And I kind of feel that way too. I still think this is cool. It's just the background is although it's cool, it's very static. It's not very dynamic, so it just feels like an image slapped onto the background. He disappears, and then boom. This looks sick, man. They're bringing the boom to Costco. Let's go. So, if you're wondering what the hell is going on, I already mentioned it because of Hulkbuster. This is a Hulkbuster Celestial armor. If you Google Celestial Hulkbuster, you will find the ultimate Celestial Hulkbuster armor. It's a mouthful. But this is exactly what it is. The Celestial Hulkbuster from a Thor 2020 comics. I haven't read the comics, but it seems like Tony was building something to fight Thor and other sort of celestial space beings, including Hulk right there, because they go into space and they fight against each other. That Hulkbuster is massive, by the way. As you can see, like his hand, this thing dwarfs the size of Hulk and Thor. So this is a really cool design. I'm really glad this is coming to the game. again, this is almost big enough that this could be a GBR boss. This could be whatever. Like, this thing is massive. And yeah, it's probably, like I said, it's probably going to be PvP because the whole thing is PvP. He's building it to PvP against Hulk and Thor. So yeah, it looks sick though. It looks absolutely sick. So I'm really excited for that. Hulkbuster deserves it, in my opinion. I'm glad that he isn't being left in the dust while Rescue gets everything. So I think that's pretty cool there. He's probably getting a tier 4 because, again, they put the wording in there. It's a bit confusing, right? But the sneak peek wording says the new abilities and look. If it's just a new look, it means it's just the uniform. If it's new abilities, it means a tier 3 or a tier 4. And again, unless they made a mistake like with Mysterio, where they said he was getting new abilities, but he was already transcended, and people thought, oh my god, Mysterio's getting tier 4. Unless they made a mistake like that, because Hulkbuster's already transcended, so he has to get to tier 4. So we're going to have War Machine and Hulkbuster, presumably tier 4, to go along with Iron Man tier 4. If they're building an Iron Man sort of machine-type PvP team or Otherworld battle team, that could be very interesting. That could be very, very interesting. We'll have to wait and see what comes of it. But we'll also have to see, you know, what his abilities are. Is he going to have lightning immunity? But Thor can penetrate lightning immunity. So what's it going to be? Is he going to deal more damage to aliens, which would honestly make sense the most, even though Hulk is not an alien. Yeah, there's a lot. But yeah, on Tony's side, before he went invisible, I don't know about these shoulder plates here or whatever, but the rest of the armor is Mysterium. Like, and they called him the Invincible Iron Man, which is the issues where this armor comes out. So I'm pretty sure, but this is from 2022. This is not the most recent one with, this is not the Fall of X Iron Man Mysterium armor. So I may have been confused or confused y'all. There's this Iron Man. This is also called Mysterium or Mark 72. It's a little confusing. I gotta be honest with you. They don't really stick to their nomenclature very well. But yeah, this seems like it's the armor, right? That we're sort of looking for. So I think, yeah, like, see, yeah, this is the one. What am I? 2022, 2024? Yeah, I don't know, dude. Anyways. Yeah, that's what it looks like, and I'm sticking with it. I think this is the Mysterium armor, and that's what we're going to be getting. We're going to be getting the Mysterium armor for Iron Man, and then this new Celestial armor for Hulkbuster, along with a new suit for Rescue, and then a new suit and a tier 4 for War Machine with a tier 4 for Hulkbuster. That's pretty nuts. That's a lot. Not sure if they're going to be able to fit a new game mode into this one. I don't know if they would even try to sneak peek or tease the new game mode either. So yeah, I don't know. But that's that. There's also an advanced notice on the change of products. This is kind of a weird one. We don't get this very often, but they're basically just improving the value of a bunch of sales in the game. So they're moving, I don't want to talk too much about this, but I do want to talk about it because you shouldn't buy these items until after the update. I know there's not a lot of time, but there is still like almost a week. So just do not buy any of these items because they're going to be better. Some of them substantially better after the update. So all of the raw crystal sales are having their bonus crystals increased to better match the number of crystals that you get from other sales. So for example, like the easiest way to explain this is that the raw 3,300 crystals would give you a bonus of 335, which is 3635. But then if you go and look at the offer for Agents number 2, it gives you 3,700 crystals. So why wouldn't you buy that, right? It just doesn't make any sense. You would obviously buy that. It's only 35 more it's only 65 more crystals, but it's more crystals plus you get the bios and whatever. So they're bumping it up to 400, so it's more in line. It's going to be 3,700 crystals in the raw crystal deal. Again, they're bumping this one up to 800. They're bumping this one up to 1,900. So it's going to be almost just under 13,000 crystals for the most expensive one. Again, very similar in line with the other deals that you get. This doesn't seem very important for most players, but for Giga Whales who purchase the hell out of other packs and they have nothing else to buy but crystals, this is actually a big buff, a pretty big buff for them. Not a big buff. It's a decent buff for them. They're buffing the tier 4 pack. I still don't think this is worth it, by the way, in case you're wondering. but they're just raw adding 4 million gold and a Vishanti selector to the smaller pack, and then to the larger pack they're adding 10 million gold and 2 Vishanti books. Again, it's about the tier 4 materials. There's not enough tier 4 materials here. This should be like closer to 5,000 and closer to 4,500 Soul of the Faltine for this to be a realistic pack for $99. The tier 3 advancement pack is getting quite a bit of a change. It's getting almost double the CCF, 200 more essence, 200 more Titan component packs, a book selector, and 2 million gold. And it's also getting a reduction in price by 33%. It's going from $30 to $20. This is pretty good, to be honest with you. This is a pretty good sale. I'm not saying you should buy this because it's easier than ever to farm tier 3 materials, but it's certainly less of a ripoff than it was before, right? Just objectively, if it costs 33% less and they're increasing the rewards, it's objectively a better deal. But it's possible that this was a 0 out of 10 before, and now it's only like a 2 or a 3 out of 10. Again, gauge how quickly you can farm tier 4 materials, tier 3 materials, excuse me. I haven't really been keeping up to date with the sort of exchange, the ROI. For every dollar spent, how many CCF do you expect? For every dollar spent, how many, EOD TCP do you expect? So I can't say for sure that this is a good deal, but it's better than before. The other tier 3 advancement pack is also getting its price slashed by 50%, which is pretty crazy. So it's going from $100 to $50. They're reducing the number of crystals, but they're keeping the tier 3 materials the same, and then they're adding some gold and Titan selectors. There is another way of looking at this, by the way, especially when they're being so aggressive with the purchasing power, like the amount of tier 3 materials you get from packs. They're increasing it, obviously. There is a way to read this that basically means, or the interpretation essentially points to the devs releasing something like tier 5. I'm not saying they're going to drop tier 5 because, of course, there's still tier 2 characters. There's still characters that don't have tier 4. But they could be getting ready for their next sort of upgrade, character upgrade content change. Like artifacts, like CTPs, like Uru, like Odin's Blessings, something like that. So yeah. So they want to sort of trim the fat on these packs so that they can introduce new packs that are more inflated in cost. The tier 2 advancement pack and the potential enhancement pack, these ones are also getting their prices slashed by $10. And they're adding 2 million gold. This one, again, it's not great, but it's not bad anymore. $20 to immediately tier 2 a 1-star premium character plus 1,000 crystals. Again, it's not bad. The Transcendent Potential pack, just play ABX, ABL, and you'll get these rewards. It's not too big of a deal. It's not too difficult. And then the offer for agents are having their crystals tweaked. They're adding a small bonus here. See, they're reducing the amount from 1,200 to 1,100, but then they're adding in that bonus of 130. It's just a small thing. It still makes the offer for agents better than the raw crystals, but only by a small amount here. 50 crystals, right? Something like that. 100 crystals, something like that. And then the type enhancement tickets, these suck. These are really, really bad. These sales are very, very expensive, but they are being reduced. So you can see here the $10 pack is being reduced to $3, which is crazy. The $30 pack is being reduced to $5. The $50 pack is being reduced to $10. And then the $80 pack is having the crystals slashed, but it's being reduced to $20. $20 to get a level 6 type enhancement ticket is still pretty expensive. You do get 1,600 crystals, but this is like, I wouldn't call you crazy if you bought this. If you bought this shit over here on the left, you're crazy. You're insane. So I think the marketing team is actually kind of cooking here, to be honest with you. And then the shield pack. So people who have purchased the shield level 70 achievement pack will be able to purchase the new pack after it comes out. And to be honest, the pack is good. So I might be purchasing this myself. So the level 1 pack, you pay 1 million gold and you can buy all these things. This is what it was before. You'll be able to buy it again. So everyone in the game should pick this up. For 1 million gold, you get 200 energy, 100 hidden tickets, 100 boost points, and some bioselectors. This is a no-brainer. And then the level 2 pack does cost $50, which is a lot, but you do get a reasonable amount of crystals, 5,500. You get a Mega Tier 2 ticket. You get 3 Odin's Blessing selectors, 10 million gold, and a CTP selector that includes the Conquest CTP. Plus, you get a Mega Tier 2 ticket. This is a very good deal overall for just sort of like mid-level players. And also most whales I think are going to pick this up because the 3 Odin's Blessings and the CTP for $50 with 5,500 crystals yeah, it's a no-brainer. So yeah, marketing team is cooking. Keep in mind, just standard PSA, when games become very generous, it can be indicative of a slowdown. It can be indicative of a game, you know, becoming like sort of declining at an accelerated rate. And so you can, in a way, you can kind of call it a cash out. I don't think the game is going to crash out. This is like Gen Z talk. I don't think the game is going to, you know, shut down tomorrow or shut down next year. But maybe they're trying to accelerate some of their sales to sort of reap the benefits, because maybe the game is on like a 3-year time horizon instead of a 5-year time horizon or something like that. But yeah, that's just my standard PSA. That's not my necessarily interpretation of this update or these changes. It's just a thought that always goes through my mind when I see sales like this improve this drastically in any game, not specifically or exclusively MFF. So yeah, I wanted to drop that up for you guys as well. Hit me up in the comments down below. Let me know what you think of the Celestial, Hulkbuster, and Iron Man. See you tonight. Tonight is the live stream, boys. Tonight at 9. Thanks so much for watching. Smash the like button if you enjoyed the content, and I will see you in the next one. Take care.